You know, we live in this amazing age, right, where pretty much any discomfort can be swiped away in a second. But what if all that ease, that constant pursuit of comfort, what if it's actually making us weaker? That's what we're going to dig into, this hidden cost of comfort, and the honestly surprising power of embracing a little bit of hardship. I mean, just think about the world we've built. We've literally engineered struggle right out of our day-to-day lives. Feeling hungry? Boom, you've got food on demand. A little bored? No problem. There's a totally endless stream of entertainment on tap. Feeling a bit too hot? Maybe a little too cold? Well, our whole world is perfectly temperature controlled. I mean, we've hit a level of comfort that would be just completely unimaginable to pretty much every single human who's ever lived before us. And yet, here's the massive paradox, right? If life is, objectively easier than it's ever been, why do so many of us feel kind of empty? Why does that big success you worked for feel a little hollow? Or why doesn't rest actually feel, restful anymore? That's the real question we're trying to unpack here. So to really get to the bottom of this whole thing, we've got to start by tackling what our source material calls the great comfort lie. And that's this idea that has taken over, the idea that comfort is or should be our ultimate goal in life. And just for some perspective here, think about this. For 99% of all of human history, hardship wasn't some inconvenience to be avoided. It was just life. It was totally normal. So this modern goal we have, this idea of total, uninterrupted ease, it's a tiny, radical experiment when you look at the big picture. And this is where it gets really interesting, because it perfectly illustrates what you could call an evolutionary mismatch. It's right at the heart of the problem. See, our bodies, our brains, they were literally forged in a world full of challenge. We're talking cold mornings, long walks, hunger, effort, uncertainty. But modern life, it gives us the exact opposite of all of that. We're basically perfectly adapted for a world that doesn't even exist anymore. So what happens? What happens when you take an animal that was designed for the wild and you stick it in a perfectly comfortable, perfectly safe cage? Well, it turns out that this life of engineered ease, it doesn't just feel a little unnatural. It actually actively hurts us. And look, this isn't some coincidence. The source material argues that as our level of comfort has gone way up, so have all these modern ailments. We've seen anxiety absolutely explode. Depression rates have spiked. Our collective attention spans, they've collapsed. And for so many people, motivation has just poof, evaporated. These are all symptoms of a system, us, that's just not being challenged anymore. So, okay, here's a really crucial point. Our whole relationship with discomfort has completely changed. It used to be a signal, right? A signal that life was happening, a cue to get up and do something. But now we treat discomfort like it's a bug in the system, something that needs to be patched and just eliminated right away. And this sets up a really dangerous feedback loop. Think about it. We feel a problem. Maybe it's boredom, maybe it's loneliness, maybe it's just hunger. And what do? We immediately reach for a super easy, frictionless fix. We scroll, we swipe, we order something. And by constantly flooding our brains with that cheap dopamine, we actually dull our ability to feel satisfied from real effort. The brain never has to solve the real problem underneath. It just learns to numb itself. And the uncomfortable truth here, the real end result of this endless cycle of numbing and avoiding, is that we become fragile. I mean, biologically, we're systems that require stress to get stronger. There's a cool concept for this called hormesis. It's just like a muscle, right? If you don't use it, it gets weak and it atrophies. Well, without real challenges to overcome, so do our minds, our resilience, and even our sense of purpose. Okay, so if endless comfort is the problem, then what's the solution? Well, this is the part where we totally flip the script. We're going to start talking about the incredible power of intentionally bringing some of that discomfort back into our lives. And the antidote that's proposed here is this concept called meaningful resistance. Now, let's be clear, this is not about punishing yourself. It's about intentionally choosing to do hard things. This is that whole hormesis idea in action. You introduce these small, manageable stressors to kickstart adaptation and growth. It's really about sending this clear, ancient signal to your nervous system that says, hey, I'm strong, I'm capable, and I'm very, very much alive. So what does this actually look like in real life? Well, it can be something as simple as a blast of cold water at the end of your shower. It could be finally having that hard conversation you've been putting off. It could be forcing yourself to just focus on one single task without getting distracted. or doing something physically demanding, or even just sitting in complete silence with no phone, no distractions. Remember, these are opportunities, not punishments. All right, let's bring this all home. The core idea here is to just remember what we're fundamentally made of. We weren't built for some soft, pushy, unchanging world. We were built to bend, not to break. And there's this one quote from the source material that just captures the whole idea perfectly. It goes, "The problem isn't that life is hard. The problem is that life became too soft." I mean, just picture a little sapling growing in a greenhouse, right? It's totally protected from all the wind. It might grow tall, sure, but it's gonna be weak. And the very first real storm that comes along, it's gonna snap it right in two. And that's us. We are that sapling. A life without resistance, a life that's too soft, it ultimately breaks the very parts of us that were designed to get stronger by bending with the storm. And so we're gonna end this not with some neat and tidy answer, but with a challenge for you. In a world that is constantly 24/7 trying to sell you comfort, the real question becomes deeply personal. What meaningful resistance are you going to choose?